At the commencement of this vibrant drama, we are introduced to the spirited protagonist, Kong Rang, who embarks on a bold journey to China after impulsively abandoning her academic pursuits in Australia. Her mother, unaware of this drastic choice, had fervently hoped Kong Rang would complete her education abroad, envisioning a stable future for her daughter. However, Kong Rang's heart was set on a different path. She yearned to forge a career as a distinguished attorney. To pursue this ambition, she concealed her plans from her mother, weaving a tale of continued studies while secretly securing an internship in China. As her plane touches down at the bustling airport, Kong Rang anticipates a warm welcome from her cousin, Zhang Zhen, who had promised to collect her. Instead, her phone buzzes with his apologetic voice. "I'm entangled in an urgent meeting, cousin, and can't make it. But fear not, my esteemed boss is on his way to fetch you." Resigned yet curious, Kong Rang settles into the crowded terminal, her eyes scanning the sea of strangers for this mysterious figure. Moments stretch into an eternity until a sudden commotion disrupts her thoughts. An elderly man, frail and unsteady, collapses mere steps away, his body crumpling to the cold floor. Kong Rang rushes to his side, her heart pounding as she kneels, attempting to rouse him with gentle shakes and urgent calls. His stillness unnerves her, and panic begins to creep in. Just then, a composed gentleman strides forward, his presence commanding yet kind. With swift precision, he summons an ambulance, his voice steady as he relays critical details. Without hesitation, he accompanies the stricken man, ensuring he's safely en route to medical care. Kong Rang watches, spellbound by this stranger's compassion, a spark of admiration igniting within her. Unbeknownst to her, this man is Xiaoqing, the story's charismatic male lead, a dedicated physician, and, coincidentally, Zhang Zhen's superior. He had intended to retrieve Kong Rang at Zhang Zhen's behest, but the emergency diverts him, leaving her momentarily forgotten amidst the airport's chaos. Kong Rang's fascination with Xiaoqing lingers as she navigates her hospital duties, but a new visitor shifts the scene. Xiaoqing's uncle, Wang, strides into the hospital, his youthful appearance belying his familial role. Barely older than Xiaoqing, he carries an air of restless charm, though his struggling bookstore has become a sore point with his parents. Over a casual chat, Wang proposes, "Let's grab a drink tonight, nephew." Xiaoqing declines softly, "I've got plans." Wang's eyes narrow playfully, teasing, "Still hung up on her? It's been years, move on." Xiaoqing falls silent, his gaze distant. Excusing himself, he wanders to a towering tree outside the hospital, its branches heavy with memory. In his mind, a childhood friend emerges, a girl who left for distant shores, vowing to return, marry him, and reunite beneath this very tree. Each day, Xiaoqing honors that promise, waiting faithfully, his heart tethered to hope. As clouds gather, rain begins to fall, and Kong Rang, caught without an umbrella, seeks refuge under the same tree. Xiaoqing, spotting her silhouette, mistakes her for his long-lost friend. He approaches, offering his umbrella, but as their eyes meet, he realizes she's the hospital intern. About to retreat, he pauses when she introduces herself, "I'm Kong Rang." The name strikes like lightning. Gently, he brushes her damp hair aside, revealing a faint scar on her forehead, a mark from their shared childhood. His breath catches, she's the friend he's awaited. Overcome, he envelops her in a warm embrace. Kong Rang, startled and confused, pulls back, searching his face. "I've been waiting for you here," Xiaoqing murmurs, his voice thick with emotion. "Nobody told me," she replies, her brow furrowing, unaware of their past. Sensing her amnesia, Xiaoqing holds back, but as she walks away, he recalls her fierce courage, how she shielded him from bullies when he was a shy, chubby boy. Later, Xiaoqing joins Zhang Zhen for a meal, probing casually, "That apartment Kong Rang's in, is it yours?" Zhang Zhen nods, adding, "She's single, by the way." Xiaoqing's heart leaps, a smile breaking through. Their conversation is cut short when Kong Rang calls, her voice frantic, "The power's out at my place." Xiaoqing and Zhang Zhen race to her apartment, plunging into darkness. In the blackout's confusion, Kong Rang mistakes Xiaoqing for her cousin and throws her arms around him. When the lights flicker on, she stammers, "I thought you were Zhang Zhen." Mortified, she steps back, but Xiaoqing grins, unfazed. "Add me on WhatsApp," he suggests, "and I'll share details about Mr. Li's case." Eager for answers, she complies, texting immediately. He responds playfully, "Did I say I'd send it now? You'll get it when I'm ready." That night, as Kong Rang drifts to sleep, her phone pings, "Meet me at the park, 5:30 a.m., for Li's case." Groggy but determined, she arrives at dawn, where Xiaoqing presents her with running shoes. "Wear these if you want the information," he says with a wink, setting a playful challenge she can't resist. Meanwhile, Chong's thriving restaurant hums with patrons, but space is tight. Her waiter grumbles about the overflow, prompting her to eye Wang's adjacent bookstore, perpetually quiet. She pens a polite note requesting to place stools outside, but Wang declines firmly. Undeterred, Chong arranges tables anyway, seating customers in the shared space. Wang storms over, indignant. "I said no, why'd you do this?" he demands. She offers him a steaming plate of her signature dish, hoping to sway him, but he remains steadfast, brushing off her charm. Wang's defiance doesn't deter Chong for long. To reclaim his bookstore's peace, he stations his boisterous dog outside, its bark scattering her customers like leaves in a storm. Furious, Chong confronts him, their heated exchange echoing through the street. She later vents to Kong Rang, who notices her friend's gleaming new sneakers. "Who splurged on those?" Kong Rang asks, raising an eyebrow. Xiaoqing, Chong admits, a mischievous grin spreading. "Bet he's got a crush on you." Kong Rang blushes, dismissing the idea, but the thought lingers. Back at the hospital, Kong Rang, drained from monitoring a prolonged surgery, slumps into a chair, her eyes fluttering shut. Xiaoqing, emerging from the operating room, spots her and pauses, a tender memory surfacing. As children, when Kong Rang dozed off, he'd gently rest her head on his shoulder. He repeats the gesture now, settling beside her, their quiet breaths sinking in the dim corridor. Zhang, passing by, snaps a photo from behind, mistaking the scene for a casual moment. Realizing it's his cousin, he bolts, but the image is already sent. When Kong Rang stirs, Xiaoqing leads her to Mr. Li's room, where the patient is nibbling food. "He's here for a brain tumor," Xiaoqing explains softly. "He refused treatment, so we used the billing dispute to keep him admitted." Kong Rang, moved by his ingenuity, scribbles a detailed report, submitting it to her superiors with pride. But the hospital buzzes with gossip. Zhang's photo has gone viral among the staff. Enraged, Kong Rang corners her cousin, yanking his ear. "I sent it to a nurse by accident, and it's spread." He yelps. She demands Xiaoqing quash the rumors. When a nurse asks if Kong Rang's in the photo, he nods, adding, "I've adored her since childhood." The staff laughs, assuming it's a jest, but Kong Rang seethes, her frustration simmering. Meanwhile, Mr. Li takes a secretive call, murmuring, "Don't come in, I'll meet you outside." Kong Rang, nearby, overhears and shadows him, watching as he joins his son in a car. Her instincts sharp, she follows, her heart pounding with suspicion. At Chong's restaurant, she catches customers muttering that her dishes are lackluster, confessing they're paid to dine. Wang, lounging nearby, quips, "Your father's work, no doubt." Her anger flares, but a deeper wound festers. Kong Rang, meanwhile, tails Mr. Li's son to a nondescript building, where she stealthily photographs their illicit dealings. The son spots her, lunging for her phone, but she dodges, escaping with her evidence. Back at the restaurant, Chong, reeling from the truth that her father propped up her business, drowns her sorrows in liquor. Stumbling, she crashes into the wall separating her place from Wang's bookstore, splintering it. Wang, startled, calls Kong Rang, who arrives with Xiaoqing. Wang, recognizing her name, pulls Xiaoqing aside. "You're Kong Rang? She doesn't know you?" Xiaoqing whispers. "Her presence is all I need." A thud interrupts. They find Chong unconscious. Kong Rang directs Xiaoqing to fetch a blanket, but in her drunken haze, Chong answers a video call from Kong Rang's mother, who glimpses Xiaoqing. Panicked, Kong Rang shoves him into a wardrobe, insisting it's Zhang. Her mother demands proof, but Xiaoqing conceals his face, playing along. The call ends, and Kong Rang finds Xiaoqing wincing, his legs numb from the cramped wardrobe. She extends a hand, but he tugs her close, their laughter dissolving into a warm, fleeting moment. Later, Xiaoqing drives Zhang home, probing Kong Rang and her mom any tension. Zhang reveals her mother's disapproval of her legal ambitions. Xiaoqing snatches a diary page Zhang pilfered from Kong Rang years ago, a relic of her dreams. At the hospital, Mr. Li demands a refund, but Xiaoqing warns of his tumor's severity. Li brandishes a forged report claiming health, but Xiaoqing sees through it. Spotting Kong Rang's open laptop, he traces her to the scam building, where she's broadcasting, "This is a fraud, don't pay." Li's son raises a chair to strike her, but Xiaoqing intercepts, taking the hit. Police swarm, cuffing the culprits. Kong Rang kneels beside Xiaoqing, carefully bandaging his wound, her fingers steady despite her racing heart. He meets her gaze with a soft smile, relishing her care, the pain fading under her touch. As they leave the chaotic scene, Kong Rang's thoughts swirl, blending gratitude with curiosity about this man who keeps appearing at pivotal moments. Elsewhere, Chong, her restaurant shuttered and her spirits low, spots Wang cycling by. In a playful plea, she calls out, "Let me ride, just treat me like your dog." Laughing, they overload the bike only to be stopped by police for the stunt. their shared giggles easing the reprimand. Back at her apartment, Kong Rang discovers her bills mysteriously paid, but her relief turns to horror when she spots boxes outside a neighbor's door, stained with what looks like blood and bones. Heart-pounding, she confronts the neighbor Xiaoqing, who chuckles, revealing he's been covering her expenses. The skeletons are props from a medical display, and her panic dissolves into embarrassed laughter. At his place, Chong Chong swoons over Xiaoqing's cooking, her flirtatious praise raising Kong Rang's hackles. Sensing her friend's interest, Kong Rang tugs Chong Chong away, muttering, "Let's not overstay." On a crowded bus to the hospital, Xiaoqing steadies Kong Rang through every lurch, her teasing quip, "Buses aren't your style, get a car next time," drawing his grin. At the hospital, Xiaoqing meets the director, who proposes Kong Rang assist in a prestigious medical competition, leveraging her keen intellect. "You're my mentor now," Xiaoqing tells her, his eyes twinkling. "Teach me when you've got a moment." While discarding trash, Kong Rang startles at his dog's sudden bark, tripping and striking her head on a planter. Xiaoqing, alarmed, rushes her for a CT scan. Dr. Chinchu, on duty, watches their closeness with a scowl, her own feelings for Xiaoqing simmering. The scan is clear, but Kong Rang's broken door lock strands her at Xiaoqing's. He pampers her with warm drinks and home-cooked meals, his quiet thoughtfulness weaving a subtle spell. She takes his bed, he the sofa, and in her dreams, Xiaoqing confesses love, kissing her softly. Waking flushed, she finds him fixing her lock and stocking her fridge, teasing, "You're acting smitten." She laughs, brushing it off, but the idea takes root. Visiting Chong Chong, Kong Rang mourns her lost childhood friend, Chabi, unaware he's Xiaoqing, whose real name she never knew. Chong Chong vows to track him down, her determination fierce. At the hospital, a competition doctor drops out, and Xiaoqing recruits Kong Rang, irking Dr. Chinchu further. Their team clinches victory, and Dr. Chinchu suggests a group trip with the winnings. Xiaoqing dangles a catering deal before Chong Chong to sway Kong Rang, who agrees. On the trip, Dr. Chinchu flirts openly with Xiaoqing, but he spends his time with Kong Rang, soaring kites under a boundless sky. During a campfire game, Xiaoqing admits he loves someone present, and Kong Rang, misreading it as Dr. Chinchu, feels a pang of betrayal. She distances herself, ignoring his attempts to explain. Dr. Chinchu confesses to Xiaoqing, but he gently rebuffs her, "You're a friend, nothing more." He visits Kong Rang's home, where she snaps, "You're in love with Chinchu, aren't you?" He counters, "Not her, never her." "Hurt," she retorts, "You said you've loved someone forever," and slams the door, leaving him in the quiet night. The tension between Kong Rang and Xiaoqing hangs heavy, but her world shifts when her mother and Zhongzhen's mother arrive unexpectedly at the hospital. Spotting Kong Rang in her intern role, her mother collapses, overwhelmed. Kong Rang, quick to cover, claims she's merely a receptionist, downplaying her legal ambitions. Her mother, recovering, meets Xiaoqing and is instantly charmed by his warmth and poise. Sensing an ally, she nudges them closer, whispering to Xiaoqing, "Help with the dishes tonight, it'll win her over." In a private moment, Xiaoqing confides his feelings to her mother, who beams, delighted by the prospect of their union. Meanwhile, Kong Rang encounters a man claiming to be Chabi, her childhood friend, but his aggressive demeanor raises alarms. She fends him off, and Xiaoqing intervenes, revealing the truth, "I'm Chabi." He recounts their shared past games under the tree, her protecting him from bullies stirring faint memories. "Be my girlfriend," he pleads, but stunned, Kong Rang asks for time to process the revelation. Her mother, rummaging through Kong Rang's belongings, discovers her internship letter, and furious at the deception, submits a resignation to Shangguan, Kong Rang's boss. Shangguan, impressed by her talent, defends her, refusing to accept it. A heated argument erupts, and her mother storms out, but Xiaoqing follows, gently persuading her to support Kong Rang's dreams, citing her late father's dangerous yet meaningful legal career. Relenting, her mother agrees, but only if Kong Rang proves her commitment. To ease tensions, Kong Rang pretends to date Xiaoqing, who seizes the chance to grow closer, his playful gestures blurring the line between act and truth. Their charade convinces the hospital staff, and Xiaoqing proposes, "Pass your internship and be my girlfriend for real." Kong Rang laughs, "You win either way, don't you?" At Wang's bookstore, his mother arrives, skeptical of its viability. "No customers in 10 minutes, and you're coming home," she declares. Chong Chong, overhearing, slips in as a faux customer, her eyes soft with care for Wang. His mother notices, later advising, "Your ex is gone, consider that kind girl nearby." Wang brushes it off, but Chong Chong insists, "I saved you, so you owe me a day." She recruits him to cook at her restaurant, where Kong Rang arrives with colleagues. A nosy guest probes Kong Rang's love life, but she denies any romance, Shangwan's presence draws Jing Jing's jealous glances while Xiaoqing strides in, proclaiming, "I'm here for Kong Rang." Suddenly, patrons clutch their stomachs, tainted food has poisoned them. Rushed to the hospital, tests confirm the cause, and Chong Chong's restaurant is sealed. Devastated, she collapses outside, but Wang carries her to his bookstore, where she clings to him in her sleep. He watches her, conflicted, then tidies up quietly. The next morning, Chong Chong weeps, fearing her business is lost. Wang offers, "Work at my shop until you recover." Together, they uncover spoiled supplies from a crooked vendor. Chong Chong records his confession, fending off his grab for her phone. Wang intervenes, and they turn him over to the police, her gratitude for him deepening. Chong Chong confesses to Kong Rang, "I love Wang, but does he feel it too?" Just then, Kong Rang's phone rings. She's hired at the law firm. Ecstatic, she races to Xiaoqing, kissing him in a burst of joy. Her mother, witnessing, smiles, convinced of their bond, and prepares to leave, entrusting Xiaoqing with her late husband's diary, brimming with legal wisdom. "Give it to her," she says, "and keep her safe." Xiaoqing nods solemnly always. That evening, Kong Rang pores over her father's diary, its pages a testament to his legal passion. "I'll honor you, Dad," she vows, her resolve hardening. At the law firm, Shangwan, wincing from stomach pain, summons her for a business trip. She informs Xiaoqing, who teases her playfully, but Zhang Zhen, eavesdropping, misinterprets the banter as flirting with another woman. On the flight, Kong Rang notices Shangwan's discomfort and offers medicine, her attentiveness earning his quiet respect. After a grueling meeting, she checks her phone, irked by Xiaoqing's silence. When he finally calls, she answers eagerly, but he cuts it short. "I'm exhausted, get some rest." Stung, she fumes, only to open her hotel door and find Xiaoqing standing there, his grin disarming. "Couldn't wait to see you," he says, leading her to a cozy dinner where their laughter flows freely. Exhausted, she dozes off beside him, waking to a note, "I'm on my flight back." Kong Rang completes her work, then heads to Xiaoqing's, locking the door for a private moment. Their embrace is interrupted by raucous voices. His friends have crashed for a surprise party, turning their night into a lively affair. Meanwhile, Chong Chong's social media posts breathe life into Wang's bookstore, drawing throngs of buyers. As she shelves books, one teeters, nearly falling, but Wang catches it, their faces inches apart. His breath catches, but the moment shatters when she finds a CD of his old proposal to an ex, her heart sinking. Wang, seeing her expression, storms out, leaving her to grapple with doubt. At Xiaoqing's party, he steals a kiss from Kong Rang, drawing cheers from friends. Zhang Zhen, spotting her, jokes, "That's the boss's girlfriend's seat." Others confirm her status, leaving him stunned. Later, Chong Chong quizzes Wang about his breakup. Love fades and it's over, he says curtly. She praises his talents, hugging him, claiming, "I'm chilly." He drapes his shirt over her, but she hugs again, insisting, "Now you're cold." Kong Rang and Xiaoqing, watching, beam at their budding connection. Chong Chong, determined, begs Xiaoqing for Wang's address to pursue him. He hesitates, but she guilts him, citing her support for Kong Rang. Relenting, he shares it, and she dashes off. Elated, Xiaoqing teases Kong Rang, "You were mad at me plenty," but she slips free, laughing. At the law firm, Kong Rang grapples with a complex task, and Shangwan guides her patiently. A colleague's photo, captioned "Boss never talks this much," fuels gossip. Meanwhile, Wang notices his book selling briskly, tracing a bulk buyer to a letter from his ex, inviting a New Year's reunion. Xiaoqing calls him, warning, "Chong Chong's serious about you." Wang sighs, "I know, but it can't happen." Xiaoqing presses, "Be clear, or she'll hold on to hope." Chong Chong delivers homemade food to Wang's bookstore, but he cuts her off. "I don't feel that way." Crushed, she murmurs, "I thought we were close." He snaps, "My mistake, I cared too much. Please go." She sobs outside, spotted by Kong Rang and Xiaoqing, who comfort her. Binge eating, she ignores Xiaoqing's warning about weight gain, declaring, "I'll propose to Wang this new year." She courses Xiaoqing's help, threatening, "Or I'll crash at Kong Rang's." He arranges a New Year's dinner, citing Wang's mother's wishes, and Wang agrees. Dropping Kong Rang at the firm, she plans, "We'll give them space New Year's, then cycle to celebrate." A desperate girl approaches, seeking legal aid for a scam loan. Kong Rang hands her a card, promising help. At the hospital, Xiaoqing borrows Zhang Zhen's bike to practice for their plan but crashes, the brakes faulty. Zhang Zhen demands compensation, chuckling. After work, Kong Rang learns the girl's loan company is harassing her. She pitches the case to Shangwan, who dismisses it as too complex for little gain. Undeterred, Kong Rang burns the midnight oil, researching tirelessly. As New Year's approaches, Kong Rang texts Xiaoqing, "Work's holding me up." Wang, torn between the dinner and a possible reunion with his ex, hesitates. Meanwhile, Shangwan, doubled over with stomach pain, is rushed to the hospital by Kong Rang. Jing Jing, hovering, fusses over him, but Kong Rang advises clinging won't make him love you. Reaffirming her dedication to the scam loan case, Kong Rang insists it's about justice, not profit. Wang visits his ex's meeting spot but finds it empty, his heart sinking yet relieved. Kong Rang and Xiaoqing reunite for New Year's, her apology for her delay met with a gentle kiss under twinkling lights. At Chong Chong's restaurant, she spots Wang's ex nibbling her leftovers. They bond over drinks, sharing tales of their Australian days. When Wang arrives, his ex greets him coolly. "I waited to settle our score." He retorts, "I've got a girlfriend," slamming the door. Chong Chong, overhearing, realizes she's his ex and crumples, her hopes shattered. The next day, Shengwan agrees to take the loan case, thrilling Kong Rang. Wang's parents visit his bookstore, finding it empty. At Chong Chong's restaurant, his father berates him as a failure, raising a stick. Chong Chong intervenes, claiming, "We're together and won't wed until we're settled." Wang stays quiet, calming the situation. Later, Chong delivers an order to Wang's ex, who probes, "Are you Wang's girlfriend?" Chong Chong lies, "Yes," but the ex demands proof. Panicked, Chong Chong fakes an injury, calling Wang. He arrives, livid at her deception, and the ex sees through their ruse. Kong Rang, at Jing Jing's request, buys porridge for Shengwan, staining her scarf. Shengwan gifts her a new one, sparking Xiaoqing's jealousy. He confronts Kong Rang, who, fed up, storms off. Shengwan invites her to dinner, which she assumes is professional. Xiaoqing, unable to reach her, calls Chong Chong. She teases her, "Boss into you? Tell him you're taken." At a college event, Wang's ex apologizes, citing her career, but he halts her kiss. Everything's different now. Chong Chong, misinterpreting, drinks heavily. Wang carries her to a taxi where she kisses him, and he returns it. Waking at Kong Rang's, she thinks it's a dream, crying over the ex. Wang, reflecting, regrets the kiss. Chong Chong envies Kong Rang's bond with Xiaoqing, who's hospitalized from overwork. Kong Rang rushes to him, terrified. He wakes, joking, "I'm okay," and kisses her, mending their rift. They cycle together, carefree. Zhang Zhen mentions a patience-disruptive family, and Kong Rang joins Xiaoqing's intern party at Chong Chong's restaurant. En route, the family confronts them, shouting, "Our dad's dying and you're celebrating?" The interns explain, "We're just trainees," but a brawl erupts, injuring Zhang Zhen. Xiaoqing tries to calm things but joins the fray when attacked. At the police station, Kong Rang's legal prowess secures their release. Media swarm the hospital, and the director suspends Xiaoqing for a month. Wang, strumming his ex's guitar, recalls her ambition-driven exit. Returning it, he says, "I waited, but I won't again." He buys Chong Chong a gift, but finds her closing her restaurant. She returns his book, lamenting, "I was naive to think I'd succeed." A car arrives and she claims, "My boyfriend," but it's her dad, leaving Wang deflated. Kong Rang and Xiaoqing visit her stepdad, a kind schoolmaster, dispelling Xiaoqing's misconceptions. Chong Chong confronts Wang, who admits, "I miss you. Be my girlfriend." He kisses her, and she chases him playfully, her heart soaring. Xiaoqing gifts Kong Rang a delicate nightdress from Chong Chong, her shy smile betraying a flicker of warmth. Jing Jing calls, revealing a car-captured footage of the hospital brawl. Kong Rang tracks the owner, who insists on a Shanghai meeting. She travels there, while Xiaoqing attends her court case, which they win triumphantly. Shengwan, spotting him, queries, "What brings you here?" Xiaoqing replies, "I back Kong Rang no matter what." In Shanghai, Kong Rang secures the video, proving the patient's family instigated the fight. She threatens legal action, and they withdraw their complaint. Celebrating, she and Xiaoqing shop, their laughter drawing Shengwan and Jing Jing's attention. Jing Jing smiles, but Shengwan's gaze lingers, conflicted. That night, at a lively party, Wang arrives, proudly claiming Chong Chong as his partner, delighting Kong Rang and Xiaoqing. Kong Rang, wearing the nightdress, visits Xiaoqing, playfully citing insomnia. He massages her temples, his gentle touch lulling her to sleep, a quiet intimacy settling between them. Wang takes Chong Chong mountain climbing, where they savor rare tea and share stories, their bond deepening under the open sky. Xiaoqing and Kong Rang plan a movie night, but a disaster summons him to a perilous site with a medical team. Kong Rang, gripped by worry amid spotty news reports, volunteers at the site. During an earthquake's aftershocks, she saves a child, her eyes locking with Xiaoqing's across the chaos. That night, snow falling softly, he presents letters from their past, a schoolboy's scribble, "Can I like you?" A college note, "When will you return?" And a doctor's plea, "Will you marry me?" Tears welling, Kong Rang kisses him, her heart answering. Back home, Xiaoqing introduces her to his parents, boldly listing their names as future family, including unborn children, sparking gasps. They set a wedding date, marrying in a vibrant traditional ceremony, their kiss met with joyous cheers. On their honeymoon, time leaps forward. Kong Rang flourishes as a lawyer, her reputation soaring. Shangwan, sipping coffee, heeds Jingjing's warning about his stomach. "Do you like me?" he asks. She nods, yes, and he invites her to dinner, a new chapter dawning. Zhang Zhen, now a masterful doctor, shares updates with Kong Rang. At home, Xiaoqing stirs a pot as Kong Rang announces, "I'm pregnant with twins." His joy erupts, and he calls Wang, who jests, "I'm a grandpa." Chong Chong chimes, "And I'm a grandma." Wang teases, "I haven't married you yet, but Neil's proposing." She accepts, her laughter ringing. Kong Rang, glowing with pride, cradles her belly, and the story closes with their cherubic twins, a testament to love's enduring triumph. In the opening act of this sweeping drama, we meet Kong Rang, a determined young woman whose bold decision sets the story ablaze. Having abruptly abandoned her studies in Australia, she arrives in China, her heart alight with dreams of becoming a formidable attorney. Her mother, blissfully unaware of this upheaval, had pinned her hopes on Kong Rang earning a prestigious degree abroad, envisioning a secure, conventional path. But Kong Rang, fueled by ambition and a fierce desire to carve her own destiny, concealed her plans, spinning a tale of continued academic diligence while secretly pursuing a coveted internship in China's legal world. As her plane descends into the vibrant chaos of the airport, she clutches her bag, anticipation mingling with nerves. Her cousin Zhang Zhen had vowed to meet her, his familiar grin a promised anchor. Instead, her phone hums with his harried voice, "I'm ensnared in a critical meeting, Kong Rang. I can't make it, but don't fret, my boss, a man of remarkable caliber, is coming to collect you." With a sigh, Kong Rang settles onto a bench, her eyes darting across the terminal's kaleidoscope of faces, searching for this enigmatic figure. Time crawls, each minute stretching her patience thin. The airport's bustle, vendors hawking snacks, travelers rushing to gates fades into a hume until a sharp gasp shatters her focus. An elderly man, his face ashen, stumbles and collapses nearby, his frail form crumpling to the tiled floor. Kong Rang leaps to her feet, her pulse racing as she kneels beside him, her voice urgent yet trembling. "Sir, can you hear me?" she calls, gently shaking his shoulder, but his stillness chills her. A crowd gathers, their murmurs rising, when a poised figure cuts through, a man whose calm authority silences the chaos. He kneels, checks the man's pulse, and dials for an ambulance, his instructions crisp and unwavering. With a nod to Kong Rang, he accompanies the patient, ensuring swift care. She watches, transfixed by his selfless resolve, a spark of awe igniting in her chest. This is Xiaoqing, the story's magnetic hero, a physician whose compassion runs as deep as his skill. He was meant to fetch Kong Rang at Zhang Zhen's request, but duty called him away, leaving her momentarily adrift in the terminal's tide. Undeterred, Kong Rang resolves to take charge. Her internship's first day looms, a make-or-break moment she refuses to miss. She flags a taxi, the driver's chatter a blur as she mentally rehearses her introduction at the law firm. The city unfolds in a blur of neon signs and crowded streets, each turn bringing her closer to her dream. She arrives at the firm's sleek office, its glass facade gleaming, and steps inside, her punctuality earning a curt nod from her new supervisor. There, she learns her internship spans both legal work and collaboration with the hospital where Zhang Zhen wields his surgical expertise, a thrilling convergence of her passions. Kong Rang's heart swells with possibility as she absorbs the news of her dual internship, blending law and medicine in a way she hadn't dared imagine. The law firm's polished corridors buzz with purpose, but it's the hospital connection that quickens her pulse, tying her to Zhang Zhen's world of healing. After her first day, she visits the apartment her cousin arranged, a charming, sun-dappled space nestled in a lively neighborhood. Stepping inside, she traces the wooden floors, picturing late nights poring over legal texts and mornings savoring coffee by the window. The space feels like a promise, a canvas for her new life. She unpacks her suitcase, each item a tether to her past, yet her eyes gleam with the future's allure. A knock jolts her from her thoughts, and Chong Chong, her dearest friend from years past, bursts through the door, her laughter a melody of nostalgia. They collapse into a hug, their voices overlapping with stories of lost time, their bond unbroken by distance. "We need supplies to make this place yours," Chong Chong declares, dragging Kong Rang to a nearby shop. The store hums with activity, shelves stacked with vibrant goods. They fill a basket with essentials, candles, cookware, a quirky mug Chong insists is so you their banter echoing through the aisles. As they exit, arms laden, a sharp bark splits the air. Xiaoqing's dog, a bundle of mischief, bounds toward them, toppling their bags in a chaotic spill. Kong Rang yelps, Chong Chong gasps, and the dog's owner hurries out a man whose striking presence halts their breath. It's Xiaoqing, though Kong Rang doesn't yet know him. I'm terribly sorry, he says, his voice warm as he gathers their scattered items. He presses money into their hands, his smile disarming. For the trouble, he adds, before striding away, the dog trotting at his heels. Kong Rang and Chong Chong exchange glances, her friend whispering, "Who is that?" Kong Rang shrugs, but his face lingers in her mind, a puzzle she can't yet solve. The next morning, Kong Rang steps into the hospital, her internship unfolding in a whirlwind of activity. Senior physicians brief her, their voices clipped as they outline her role. One case stands out, Mr. Lee, a patient furious over what he calls an inflated bill for a minor ailment. He stopped eating and drinking, demanding a refund, his protest disrupting the ward. Who's handling his case? Kong Rang asks, her curiosity piqued. Dr. Xiaoqing, the doctor replies. Eager to connect, she seeks him out, navigating the hospital's maze-like halls. She finds him rushing to surgery, his white coat a blur. I'm tied up, surgery calls, he says, barely glancing back. Disappointed but undaunted, Kong Rang hovers near his office, strategizing her next move. A nurse, sensing her intent, offers a quiet insight. Xiaoqing's life is his patience. He'll save a heart before he stops to talk. The words paint a vivid portrait of his dedication, and Kong Rang's respect deepens, her determination to know him growing stronger. Later, a new figure enters, Wang, Xiaoqing's uncle, whose youthful energy defies his title. He saunters into the hospital, his easy grin masking the weight of his failing bookstore, a venture his parents scorn. Drinks tonight? He proposes to Xiaoqing, leaning against a wall. I'm booked, Xiaoqing replies, his tone distracted. Wang smirks, still pining for her? Let it go, it's been ages. Xiaoqing's silence speaks volumes. He excuses himself, drawn to a towering tree outside, its shade a sanctuary. Memories flood back, a childhood friend, a girl who swore to return, marry him, and meet here. Each day he honors that vow, his vigil a quiet act of faith. As Xiaoqing lingers beneath the tree, its leaves whispering in the breeze, a sudden downpour drenches the hospital grounds. Kong Rang, caught in the deluge without an umbrella, sprints for cover, ducking under the same tree's broad canopy. Her clothes cling to her, and she shivers, unaware of Xiaoqing's presence until he steps forward, offering his umbrella. His eyes soften, mistaking her for his childhood friend, but as their gazes lock, he recognizes the hospital intern. You're soaked, he says, hesitating, about to retreat. Kong Rang, brushing wet strands from her face, introduces herself. I'm Kong Rang. The name hits him like a thunderbolt. His hand trembles as he gently lifts her hair, revealing a faint scar on her forehead, a relic from their shared past. It's you, he breathes, realization dawning. Overwhelmed, he pulls her into a tight embrace, his heart racing with years of pent-up longing. Kong Rang, startled, stiffens, her mind scrambling. I've waited here for you, Xiaoqing murmurs, his voice raw. No one told me, she replies, confusion clouding her eyes. Sensing she doesn't recall their childhood, he releases her, masking his disappointment. As she walks away, Xiaoqing's thoughts drift to their youth, her fearless defense against bullies, her laughter as they played under this very tree, her promise etched in his soul. Later, over steaming tea with Zhang Zhen, Xiaoqing probes casually, that apartment Kong Rang's in yours? Zhang Zhen nods, grinning. She's unattached, by the way, no boyfriend. Xiaoqing's pulse quickens, a hopeful spark igniting. Their chat is interrupted by Kong Rang's urgent call. Zhang Zhen, my apartment's pitch black, the power's out. Xiaoqing insists on joining and they race to her building, plunging into darkness. In the blackout's chaos, Kong Rang, mistaking Xiaoqing's silhouette for her cousin's, throws her arms around him, her voice shaky with relief. When the lights flicker on, her cheeks flush crimson. I thought you were Zhang Zhen, she stammers, stepping back. Xiaoqing chuckles, unfazed. Add me on WhatsApp, he suggests, for Mr. Lee's case details. Eager, she sends a request, texting, send them now. He replies with a playful smirk, patience I'll share when I'm ready. That night, as Kong Rang drifts to sleep, her phone glows, Park, 5:30 a.m. for Lee's case. She bolts upright, determined not to miss it. At dawn, she finds Xiaoqing waiting, holding running shoes. Wear these if you want the info, he teases, setting a whimsical challenge. Kong Rang, grinning, laces up, ready to play his game. Meanwhile, Chong Chong's restaurant arrives, its tables packed with chattering patrons. But space is scarce, and her waiter grumbles about the overflow. Her gaze shifts to Wang's bookstore next door, its shelves dusty and its floor empty. She scribbles a courteous note, asking to place stools outside, but Wang's reply is a firm no. Undaunted, Chong Chong sets up tables anyway, her customers spilling into the shared space. Wang storms out, his voice sharp. "I refused. Why'd you ignore me?" She slides a plate of her best dish toward him, her smile coaxing. "Try this, maybe it'll change your mind." He pushes it back, unmoved, his frustration palpable. Not one to back down, Chong escalates the feud. Wang retaliates by tethering his dog outside, its relentless barking scattering her patrons. Furious, she marches over, their argument crackling like a storm. Later, she spills the tale to Kong Rang, who notices her friend's sleek new sneakers. "Who got you those?" Kong Rang asks. "Xiaoqing," Chong says, winking. "Think he's sweet on you." Kong Rang laughs it off, but the idea takes root, stirring a quiet curiosity. The feud between Chong and Wang simmers, but Kong Rang's focus shifts back to the hospital, where her internship demands every ounce of her energy. Exhausted after shadowing a marathon surgery, she sinks into a chair in a quiet corridor, her eyelids heavy. Sleep claims her, her head lolling until Xiaoqing, fresh from the operating room, spots her. His heart softens, a memory flickering. As children, when Kong Rang dozed during their adventures, he'd ease her head onto his shoulder, guarding her rest. He mirrors the gesture now, settling beside her, their breaths aligning in the stillness. Zhang Zhen, passing by, snaps a photo from behind, assuming it's a harmless moment. Realizing it's his cousin, he panics and flees, but the image is already sent, destined to stir trouble. When Kong Rang wakes, Xiaoqing guides her to Mr. Li's room, where the patient nibbles a meal. He's battling a brain tumor. Xiaoqing confides, his voice low. He refused to stay, so we framed the billing dispute to keep him here. Kong Rang, struck by his compassionate cunning, crafts a meticulous report, her pen flying as she captures his insights, earning a nod from her superiors. The hospital, however, hums with gossip. Zhang Zhen's photo has spread like wildfire among the staff. Kong Rang, livid, tracks down her cousin, yanking his ear. "I sent it to a nurse by mistake, it went viral." He protests, wincing. She storms to Xiaoqing, demanding he douse the rumors. When a nurse asks if Kong Rang's in the photo, he confirms, adding, "I've loved her since we were kids." The staff chuckles, dismissing it as a jest, but Kong Rang's glare could melt steel. Her attention shifts when she overhears Mr. Li on a hushed call, "Stay outside, I'll meet you." Suspicious, she trails him, watching as he slips into a car with his son. Heart pounding, she follows, her legal instincts sharp. Meanwhile, at Chong's restaurant, she catches patrons muttering that her food's mediocre, admitting they're paid to dine. Wang nearby smirks, "Your father's handiwork, I bet?" Her fury surges, but the sting of betrayal cuts deeper. Kong Rang tracks Mr. Li's son to a shady building, where she stealthily snaps photos of their illicit operation. The son spots her, lunging for her phone, but she darts away, her evidence secure. Back at the restaurant, Chong, reeling from the truth that her father propped up her business, drowns her pain in alcohol. Staggering, she crashes into the wall, dividing her place from Wang's bookstore, splintering it. Wang, jolted, calls Kong Rang, who arrives with Xiaoqing. Recognizing her name, Wang pulls Xiaoqing aside. "This is your Kong Rang. She doesn't know you." Xiaoqing murmurs, "Her being here is enough." A crash interrupts. They find Chong unconscious. Kong Rang orders Xiaoqing to grab a blanket, but Chong, in a drunken haze, answers a video call from Kong Rang's mother, who glimpses Xiaoqing. Panicking, Kong Rang shoves him into a wardrobe, insisting it's Zhang Zhen. Her mother demands to see him, but Xiaoqing hides his face, playing the ruse. After the call, Kong Rang finds him cramped and wincing, his legs numb. She offers her hand, but he pulls her close, their laughter sparking a fleeting, tender connection. Xiaoqing later drives Zhang Zhen home, probing Kong Rang's mother. Any friction? Zhang Zhen spills that she opposes her legal dreams, fearing their risks. Xiaoqing snatches a diary page Zhang Zhen stole from Kong Rang years ago, a fragment of her aspirations. At the hospital, Mr. Li demands a refund, but Xiaoqing warns of his tumor's gravity. Li waves a falsified report, but Xiaoqing spots the forgery. Noticing Kong Rang's open laptop, he traces her to the scam building, where she's exposing the fraud over a microphone. "Don't pay, it's a con." Li's son raises a chair to strike, but Xiaoqing shields her, taking the blow. Police flood in, arresting the culprits, leaving Kong Rang to tend Xiaoqing's wound, her care a silent vow of gratitude. Kong Rang's hands tremble slightly as she wraps Xiaoqing's wound, her focus intense, though her heart flutters under his steady gaze. "You didn't have to do that," she murmurs, securing the bandage. He smiles, pain easing under her touch. "I couldn't let you face that alone," he replies, his voice soft but firm. Their moment lingers, a quiet bond forming amidst the hospital's sterile hum. Meanwhile, Chong, her restaurant shuttered and her dreams bruised, wanders the streets, her spirit sagging. Spotting Wang on his bicycle, she musters a grin, calling, Let me hitch a ride, treat me like your mutt. He laughs, agreeing, but their overloaded bike draws a stern police warning, their shared chuckles softening the scolding. Back at her apartment, Kong Rang discovers her bills paid, a mystery that unravels when she finds eerie boxes outside a neighbor's door, stained with what seems like blood and bones. Panic surges until Xiaoqing, revealed as her neighbor, explains their medical props, his quiet generosity covering her expenses. She laughs, embarrassment warming her cheeks. At his place, Chong Chong raves over his cooking, her playful flirtations grating Kong Rang, who pulls her friend away, muttering, "Time to go." On a jolting bus to the hospital, Xiaoqing steadies Kong Rang through every bump, her teasing, "Get a car, buses aren't your scene," earning his amused nod. At the hospital, the director proposes Kong Rang aid Xiaoqing in a national medical competition, citing her sharp mind. "You're my guide now," Xiaoqing tells her, his grin infectious. "Teach me when you're free." While tossing trash, his dog's sudden bark startles Kong Rang, sending her tumbling, her head striking a planter. Xiaoqing, alarmed, rushes her for a CT scan. Dr. Chinchu, on duty, eyes their closeness with barely veiled envy, her own feelings for Xiaoqing simmering. The scan shows no damage, but Kong Rang's broken door lock forces her to stay at Xiaoqing's. He fusses over her, brewing tea and cooking hearty meals, his care weaving a subtle warmth. She claims his bed, he the sofa, and in her dreams Xiaoqing confesses love, his kiss vivid. Waking flustered, she finds him repairing her lock and stocking her fridge, teasing, "Falling for me yet?" She denies it, laughing, but the thought burrows deep. Visiting Chong Chong, Kong Rang laments her lost friend Chabi, unaware he's Xiaoqing, whose true name she never knew. Chong Chong pledges to find him, her resolve fierce. At the hospital, a competition doctor withdraws and Xiaoqing recruits Kong Rang, further irking Dr. Chinchu. Their team secures victory, and Dr. Chinchu suggests a group trip with the prize money. Xiaoqing offers Chong Chong a catering gig to lure Kong Rang, who agrees. On the trip, Dr. Chinchu flirts brazenly with Xiaoqing, but he gravitates to Kong Rang, their kite flying under wide skies a joyful escape. During a fireside game, Xiaoqing admits he loves someone present, and Kong Rang, assuming it's Dr. Chinchu, feels a stab of betrayal. She withdraws, dodging his explanations. Dr. Chinchu confesses to Xiaoqing, but he gently rejects her. "You're a colleague, nothing more." He visits Kong Rang's home, where she snaps, "It's Chinchu you love, isn't it?" He insists, "Never her." She counters, "You've loved someone for years," and shuts him out, her heart a tangle of hurt and doubt. Her mother and Zhang Zhen's mother arrive at the hospital, and her mother faints, shocked to see Kong Rang working there. Kong Rang lies, claiming she's a receptionist, hiding her legal path. Her mother, recovering, meets Xiaoqing, charmed by his kindness, and urges him to bond over chores. Xiaoqing confides his feelings to her, earning her enthusiastic support. Kong Rang's mother, oblivious to her daughter's legal ambitions, grows fond of Xiaoqing, nudging him toward Kong Rang with a conspiratorial wink. "Help with the dishes tonight, it'll spark something," she advises, her eyes twinkling. Xiaoqing, eager to please, agrees, his quiet hope mirrored in his gentle smile. Meanwhile, Kong Rang encounters a stranger claiming to be Chabi, her childhood friend, but his pushy demeanor sets off alarms. When he grabs her arm, she shoves him back, her instincts sharp. Xiaoqing appears, diffusing the tension, and reveals, "I'm Chabi." His voice softens as he recounts their past shared secrets under the tree, her shielding him from taunts, their vow to reunite. The memories stir faint echoes in Kong Rang's mind, but the weight of it overwhelms her. "Be my girlfriend," he urges, his eyes earnest. Reeling, she murmurs, "I need time," her heart a whirlwind of recognition and uncertainty. Disaster strikes when her mother uncovers Kong Rang's internship letter, her fury erupting at the deception. She marches to Shangguan, Kong Rang's boss, submitting a resignation on her behalf. Shangguan, valuing Kong Rang's potential, refuses it, praising her tenacity. A fiery argument ensues, and her mother storms out, vowing to drag Kong Rang home. Xiaoqing intercepts, his calm words invoking her late husband's perilous yet noble legal career. "She's honoring him," he pleads. Softened, her mother relents but demands Kong Rang prove her worth. To appease her, Kong Rang feigns a romance with Xiaoqing, who embraces the ruse with boyish glee, his playful gestures blurring pretense and truth. Their charade captivates the hospital staff, and Xiaoqing proposes, "Pass your internship and make this real." Kong Rang laughs, "You're sneaky, you win either way." At Wang's bookstore, his mother arrives, skeptical of its success. "No buyers in 10 minutes, and you're done," she declares. Chong Chong, eavesdropping, slips in, posing as a customer, her gaze soft with affection. Wang's mother notices, later advising, your ex's history, look at that girl nearby. Wang shrugs, but Chong insists, I saved you, spend a day with me. She enlists him to cook at her restaurant, where Kong Rang arrives with colleagues. A guest pries into Kong Rang's love life, but she deflects. Shang Wan's presence sparks Jing Jing's jealousy while Xiaoqing strides in, announcing, I'm here for Kong Rang. Abruptly, diners clutch their stomachs, spoiled food has poisoned them. Rush to the hospital, tests confirm the cause, and Chong's restaurant is sealed. She collapses outside, devastated, but Wang carries her to his bookstore where she clings to him in sleep. He watches, torn, then tidies silently. Morning finds Chong weeping, her business in ruins. Wang offers, work at my shop for now. They sneak into her restaurant, uncovering tainted supplies from a crooked vendor. Chong records his confession, dodging his grab for her phone. Wang pulls him off and they turn him over to the police, her gratitude deepening. Chong confides in Kong Rang, I love Wang, but does he care? Just then Kong Rang's phone rings, she's hired at the law firm. Ecstatic, she races to Xiaoqing, kissing him in a burst of joy. Her mother, witnessing, beams, convinced of their love, and prepares to depart. At the airport, she entrusts Xiaoqing with her late husband's diary, its pages brimming with legal wisdom. Give it to Kong Rang, she says, and protect her. Xiaoqing vows always. That night, Kong Rang reads the diary, her father's words igniting her resolve, I'll make you proud. At the firm, Shang Wan, grimacing from stomach pain, calls her for a business trip. She tells Xiaoqing, who teases her, but Zhang Zhen, overhearing, misreads it as flirtation with another. On the business trip, Kong Rang boards the flight, her mind buzzing with the law firm's expectations. Shang Wan, seated beside her, winces, his stomach pain flaring. Noticing, she offers a remedy from her bag, her quiet concern earning his surprised gratitude. You're more than a lawyer, you're thoughtful, he says, his usual sternness softening. Her poise during their meetings impresses him further, her notes meticulous despite the long hours. Back at the hotel, Kong Rang checks her phone, annoyed by Xiaoqing's silence. When he finally calls, her heart leaps. But he brushes off her questions. I'm beat, rest up. Hurt, she paces, only to open her door and find Xiaoqing, his grin melting her frustration. Couldn't stay away, he says, leading her to a quaint restaurant. Over steaming dishes, they trade stories, their laughter weaving a cocoon of ease. Exhausted, she falls asleep against his shoulder, waking to a note, caught my flight back. Kong Rang wraps up her work, then heads to Xiaoqing's, locking the door for a private moment. Their embrace is cut short by raucous laughter as friends have ambushed them with a surprise party, turning the night into a festive blur. Meanwhile, Chong's social media flair transforms Wang's bookstore into a bustling hub, customers crowding the once quiet shelves. As she restocks, a book teeters, nearly falling, but Wang catches it, their faces inches apart. His breath hitches, but the moment fractures when she finds a CD of his proposal to an ex, her heart sinking. Wang, seeing her pain, storms out, leaving her to wrestle with doubt. At Xiaoqing's party, he steals a kiss from Kong Rang, sparking cheers. Zhang Zhen, spotting her, quips, that's the boss's girlfriend's seat. Colleagues confirm her status, leaving him stunned. Later, Chong asks Wang about his breakup. Love fades and it ends, he says curtly. She praises his talents, hugging him, claiming I'm cold. He drapes his shirt over her, but she hugs again, insisting, now you're freezing. Kong Rang and Xiaoqing, watching, grin at their spark. Determined, Chong begs Xiaoqing for Wang's address to pursue him. He resists, but she guilts him, citing her support for Kong Rang. He relents, and she dashes off, thrilled. Xiaoqing teases Kong Rang, you were mad at me plenty. But she slips away, laughing. At the law firm, Kong Rang struggles with a complex brief, and Shang Wan guides her patiently. A colleague's photo, captioned boss never this chatty, fuels gossip. Meanwhile, Wang notices his book selling briskly, tracing a buyer to a letter from his ex, proposing a New Year's reunion. Xiaoqing calls, warning, Chong's serious about you. Wang sighs, it won't work. Xiaoqing urges, be honest or she'll cling to hope. Chong brings Wang homemade food, but he cuts her off, I don't feel that way. Devastated, she whispers, I thought we were close. He snaps, my mistake, I cared too much. Leave. She sobs outside, found by Kong Rang and Xiaoqing, who comfort her. Binge eating, she ignores Xiaoqing's weight warning, vowing, I'll propose to Wang this new year. She coerces Xiaoqing's help, threatening, or I'll crash at Kong Rang's. He arranges a New Year's dinner, citing Wang's mother's wishes, and Wang agrees. Dropping Kong Rang at the firm, she plans will give them space New Year's, then cycle to celebrate. A frantic girl approaches, begging legal help for a scam loan. Kong Rang offers her card, promising aid. At the hospital, Xiaoqing borrows Zhang Zhen's bike to practice cycling but crashes. The brakes faulty. Zhang Zhen demands payment, chuckling. Kong Rang dives into the scam loan case after work, learning the girl faces relentless harassment from a predatory company. She pitches it to Shangwen, her voice steady despite his skepticism. It's too intricate, no profit, he says, dismissing it. Undeterred, Kong Rang stays late, her desk buried in legal texts, determined to build a case. As New Year's nears, she texts Xiaoqing, "Work's keeping me." Wang wavers, torn between the planned dinner and a possible reunion with his ex. Shangwen, gripped by stomach pain, collapses, and Kong Rang rushes him to the hospital. Jing hovers, fussing, but Kong Rang warns clinging won't win him over. She reaffirms her commitment to the loan case, driven by justice, not gain. Wang visits his ex's meeting spot, finding it empty, a mix of relief and regret washing over him. Kong Rang and Xiaoqing reunite for New Year's, her apology for her delay met with a tender kiss under a sky ablaze with fireworks. At Chong Chong's restaurant, she spots Wang's ex nibbling her leftovers. They share drinks, bonding over their Australian past. When Wang arrives, his ex greets him coldly. "I waited to settle things." He snaps, "I've got a girlfriend," slamming the door. Chong Chong, overhearing, realizes she's his ex and crumbles, her hopes fracturing. The next day, Shangwan takes the loan case, thrilling Kong Rang. Wang's parents visit his bookstore, finding him absent. At Chong Chong's restaurant, his father scolds him as a failure, raising a stick. Chong Chong interjects, "We're together and won't marry until we're stable." Wang stays silent, easing the tension. Later, Chong Chong delivers an order to Wang's ex, who asks, "You're Wang's girlfriend?" Chong Chong lies, "Yes," but the ex demands proof. Panicking, Chong Chong fakes an injury, calling Wang. He arrives, furious at her deception, and the ex sees they're not together. Kong Rang, at Jing's behest, buys porridge for Shangwan, staining her scarf. Shangwan gifts her a new one, sparking Xiaoqing's jealousy. He confronts Kong Rang, who, exasperated, storms off. Shangwan invites her to dinner, which she assumes is work-related. Xiaoqing, unable to reach her, calls Chong Chong, who clarifies. She teases, "Your boss into you? Say you're taken?" At a college event, Wang's ex apologizes, citing her career, but he stops her kiss. It's all changed. Chong Chong, misreading, drinks heavily. Wang carries her to a taxi where she kisses him, and he reciprocates. Waking at Kong Rang's, she thinks it's a dream, sobbing over the ex. Wang, reflecting, regrets the kiss. Chong Chong envies Kong Rang's bond with Xiaoqing, who's hospitalized from overwork. Kong Rang rushes to him, terrified. He wakes, joking, "I'm fine," and kisses her, healing their rift. They cycle together, carefree. Zhang Zhen reports a patient's disruptive family, and Kong Rang joins Xiaoqing's intern party at Chong Chong's restaurant. En route, the family confronts them, yelling, "Our dad's dying, and you're partying?" The interns explain, "We're trainees," but a fight erupts, injuring Zhang Zhen. Xiaoqing tries to calm it but joins when attacked. At the police station, Kong Rang's legal skill secures their release. Media swarm, and the director suspends Xiaoqing for a month. Wang, strumming his ex's guitar, recalls her ambition-driven exit. Returning it, he says, "I waited, but no more." He buys Chong Chong a gift, but finds her closing her restaurant, lamenting, "I was foolish to think I'd succeed." A car pulls up, she claims, "My boyfriend," but it's her dad, leaving Wang crestfallen.